Welcome, biology students. This is just a quick video to help you with your assignment 1.10, transport across membranes, if you built it. So the first thing you want to do is go to course activities to find this assignment. As before, you could go to assignments and scroll down to 1.10, or you could do as I do and go to lessons. And then you want to scroll down again to 1.10. And I go through the slides, so it gives you a bit more context for the actual activity. So as you'll see here, you see the skills needed. We're going to skip through these slides fairly quickly, but this gives you the lesson for understanding how to do this particular assignment. So you're learning about passive transport and filtration, diffusion, osmosis, all of these things without energy. Coming to the experiment, if you build it, this is where you are actually going to be designing an experiment for this assignment. You want to think about things maybe that you find in your kitchen, and the idea of something that moves across, a substance that moves across a filter or a membrane. So for example, things like coffee going through a filter or a tea bag. You can also not just talk about water movement, but also air movement and smells going across membranes. So these are just some examples. You're going to click on the activity and you're going to actually come up with the experiment yourself. So remember, you're going to pick something where you have something moving across a membrane. This is passive transport, so there's no energy used in this. And you're going to think of an example, as I mentioned, something in your kitchen having to do with food or smells. Those are probably really good examples. And you're going to create an experiment where you are testing how a membrane or a filter works compared to something that has no open pores where it could not move across. So for example, in the example we had earlier with the pizza, the oil from the pizza moved across the paper membrane, which had open pores, and the oil went through. But if you covered that in plastic, the plastic had no pores, and so the oil could not move through. So you can use several examples for this. As we mentioned, you could use coffee and a filter, and then plastic over that filter to see if the coffee tannins could move through with the water, or the same with the tea bag, with the tea leaves. The tea bag has pores, so it acts as a membrane, and then the water, the hot water, helps to move the tannins into the actual water. So that's another example, but you could also cover that tea bag in plastic in some way, and that could prevent the pores and not allow that transport, that passive transport. You could also even use something like a COVID mask, which is porous, and you can actually have smells that go through those pores, but you could cover that COVID mask with plastic and you would not be able to smell any smells moving through the air. So these are just some of the examples. You can come up with your hypothesis. What do you think happens when there's a membrane versus the plastic when the substance meets? And your control group is going to be the plastic that covers the membrane, whether it's in smells or in tea or coffee or some other solution in water. And then your experimental group is when you actually have the membrane. You're going to list all your steps, and then of course answer all the questions for full points. Good luck.